Rio Bravo is a movie that captured the spirit of the American West with an all-star cast, but now more than 60 years later, all of the actors have, tragically, passed away. In this video, we explore their real names, ages, and the shocking events that led to their untimely deaths. Get ready for a journey back in time that you will never forget. Ricky Nelson as Colorado. Ryan. Ricky Nelson, born May 8, 1940, is an American singer and actor and a major teen, idol of the 1950s, 1960s. In 1959, at the age of 19, he starred in the classic film Rio Bravo, directed by Howard Hawks, as Colorado, Ryan, a young, skilled, and loyal cowboy. In the film, the scene where Nelson sings "My Rifle, My Pony and Me" with Dean Martin and Walter Brennan became one of the most memorable cinematic moments, contributing to affirming that he was not only a pop star, but also a natural and charismatic actor. Outside the spotlight, Nelson's personal life was turbulent. He married Kristen Harmon in 1963, had 4 children, but the marriage fell apart in 1982 due to infidelity, drug addiction, and family conflicts. After his peak, Nelson's music career declined, and his finances dried up, leaving him with a late-life net worth of just $500, a modest figure compared to his heyday. On December 31, 1985, Ricky Nelson died in a tragic plane crash at the age of 45. His sudden passing shocked the public, but his musical legacy and image as Colorado cowboy Ryan live on in the hearts of the public, with more than 50 albums, a series of hits, and a memorable film role. Ricky Nelson is remembered as an American cultural icon, both talented and tragic. John Wayne as Sheriff John T. Chance. John Wayne, born May 26, 1907, is one of Hollywood's greatest cinematic icons, particularly associated with the Western genre. In Rio Bravo 1959, at the age of 51, he took on the role. Sheriff John T. Chance, a tough, upright, and steadfast man in protecting the town from a violent criminal gang, this role not only forms the backbone of the film, but also solidifies the image of John Wayne as the embodiment of American masculinity, strong, calm, but decisive, a model leader admired by the public. Behind the spotlight, Wayne's private life was not peaceful. He had 3 marriages, including a long marriage to Pilar Paulette from 1954. However, Wayne was often rumored to have had affairs even involving actress Gail Russell, making his private life always controversial. Wayne's health also suffered. In the 1960s, he was diagnosed with lung cancer and had to have 1 lung removed, which significantly reduced his physical strength. Nevertheless, Wayne continued to act, leaving behind a series of classic works when he died on June 11, 1979. At the age of 72, his net worth was estimated at $50 million, largely through movies and real estate investments. John Wayne's legacy is immense: more than 170 films, numerous awards, and an image of the immortal cowboy imprinted in the public's memory. He died in pain from illness, but the image of Sheriff John T. Chance and countless other roles made Wayne an eternal monument of Hollywood. Dean Martin as Dude. Dean Martin, born June 7, 1917, is a Hollywood singer, actor, and master entertainer known for his deep voice and elegant demeanor. In Rio Bravo 1959, when he was 42 years old, he played the role of Dude, a once respected former deputy sheriff who has fallen prey to alcoholism. Martin's performance brings a rare, emotional depth to a Western that is often about action and violence. Through the character of Dude, the audience sees a man struggling to regain his self-respect, thereby highlighting themes of friendship, redemption, and belief in the human capacity to change. Off-screen, Dean Martin's personal life was not without tragedy. He had 3 marriages, the longest of which was with his second wife, Jean Martin. However, his alcoholism had a serious impact on his family relationships. In the 1980s, the greatest pain came when his son, Dean Paul Martin, died in a plane crash. This tragedy caused Dean Martin to sink into grief, severe depression, and gradually withdraw from artistic activities. However, With a brilliant music career, many best-selling albums, and a series of movie roles, Dean Martin still maintains an estimated net worth of about $30 million. But his health was ruined by lung cancer, leading to his near-complete retirement from the stage in his later years. Day, December 25, 1995. Dean Martin passed away at the age of 78. He left behind a legacy in both music and cinema, a model of lasting charm and talent, and made a deep impression as the Dude, the most humane character in Rio Bravo. John Russell as Nathan Burdett. John Russell, born January 3, 1921, plays Nathan Burdett, a wealthy and cunning rancher in Rio Bravo. At 38, Russell's role contrasts sharply with the main characters, adding to the tension of the film. Russell has a stable career, but his personal life is quite private. Married twice to his second wife, Linda Phillips. Since 1970, he has not been involved in many love affairs, but later, Russell contracted lung cancer due to long-term smoking, leading to a rapid decline in health. His net worth was estimated at $3 million, mainly from acting. Russell died on January 19, 1991, at the age of 70, leaving behind a considerable film legacy, but also a body ravaged by illness. Pedro Gonzalez. Gonzalez as Carlos Robante. Pedro Gonzalez. Gonzalez, born May 24, 1925, plays Carlos Robante, the loyal hotel owner of Rio Bravo. At 34, his role brings warmth and courage, helping to highlight the town's sense of unity. Gonzalez has had a notable career, but his personal life has been plagued by financial hardship. Married to Leandra Martinez with 3 children, he lived modestly, but the lack of major acting roles often left his family struggling. His health declined due to heart disease in his later years. His net worth was estimated at $500,000. Gonzalez died on February 6, 2006, at the age of 80, leaving behind a modest but meaningful legacy in the hearts of his audience. Walter Brennan as Stumpy. Walter Brennan, born July 25, 1894, played Stumpy, the elderly loyal deputy in Rio Bravo at 64. Brennan's performance added humor and courage, emphasized the unity of the main characters, and made him a favorite with audiences. With 3 Oscars for Best Supporting Actor for Come and Get It, 1936, Kentucky, 1938, and The Westerner, 1940. Brennan is a Hollywood legend, although his personal life was fraught with trouble. Married to Ruth Wells. Since 1920, he had a stable marriage, but Brennan later developed chronic obstructive pulmonary disease from decades of smoking, which left him weak and short of breath. His net worth is estimated at $10 million, mostly from his acting career. Brennan died on September 21, 1974, at the age of 80, leaving behind a massive legacy, but also a body ravaged by disease. Fred Aldrich as Barfly. Fred Aldrich, born on December 23, 1904, was a familiar Hollywood supporting actor, often appearing briefly in a series of films. From the 1940s, 1960s, in Rio Bravo, 1959, at the age of 55, he took on the role. Barfly, a regular customer at the town saloon. Although only a small role, Aldrich's appearance contributes to the vibrant, authentic, and colorful atmosphere of Western life, where the supporting characters add to the overall picture of the film. Unlike Hollywood's biggest stars, Aldrich's career was relatively modest. He often took on small, unnamed roles, sometimes as a passerby or a bar patron. But his enduring screen presence made him an integral part of the supporting cast that helped create the realistic setting for films. It was thanks to faces like Aldrich that classic films, including Rio Bravo, more vivid and rich in detail. In his personal life, Fred Aldrich was married, but information about his family is almost unknown. He lived a simple life, rarely appearing in public. His later years, Aldrich's health seriously declined due to lung disease caused by long-term smoking, a common disease among many actors of his generation. His net worth at the time of his death was estimated at around $2,000, a small number compared to contemporary stars. Day, January 25th. 1979. Fred Aldrich breathed his last at the age of 74. Although he did not leave behind any great roles, he is still remembered as one of the familiar faces of classical cinema, contributing quietly but importantly to the success of immortal works such as Rio Bravo. Malcolm Atterbury as Jake. Malcolm Atterbury, sin a February 20, 1907. In Philadelphia was one of the familiar faces on American screens in the second half of the 20th century. He often took on supporting roles, appearing briefly, but still leaving enough of an impression thanks to his genuine appearance and natural acting style. In Rio Bravo 1959, at the age of 52, Atterbury plays Jake, a town horse-drawn carriage driver. Though a minor character, Jake helps to portray the everyday atmosphere, bringing a sense of community where ordinary people silently support the overall picture of the story. The simplicity and loyalty that Atterbury conveys in the role adds depth to the film, which is not only about guns but also celebrates friendship and solidarity. Before and after Rio Bravo, Atterbury built a solid career with hundreds of appearances on television and film. He participated in many outstanding works such as North by Northwest 1959 by Alfred Hitchcock, Invasion of the Body Snatchers 1956, or The Birds 1963. Although rarely cast in leading roles, Atterbury was considered a typical professional actor, always appearing at the right time, taking on supporting but necessary roles, enriching the film's world. Malcolm Atterbury's personal life was quite private. He was married to Ellen Hardees. Since 1937, he has had 3 children and maintained a quiet family life far from the bustle of Hollywood. Towards the end of his life, heart disease forced him to gradually give up acting, retreating behind the scenes to focus on his health and family. When he passed away, on August 16, 1992, longevity, 5 years old. Atterbury left behind an estimated net worth of approximately $800,000. Not a shining star, but he is remembered by colleagues and audiences as a reliable character on the screen, one of the people who made up the background material of classic Hollywood. With the role of Jake in Rio Bravo, Atterbury asserts that even a small role can contribute to the depth and authenticity of a timeless piece of cinema. Estelita Rodriguez as Consuela. Robante. Estelita Rodriguez, born July 10, 1928, plays Consuela Robante, Carlos' intelligent and strong-willed wife in Rio Bravo. At 31, Rodriguez's performance brings a resilience and warmth that enriches the film's relationships. Rodriguez had a promising career, but her personal life was tumultuous. She married 4 times, including to actor Grant Withers, but all ended in divorce, mainly due to disagreements and financial pressures. Rodriguez also struggled with depression, which affected her career. Her net worth was estimated at just $300,000. She died on March 12, 1966, at the age of 37 from complications of the flu, leaving behind a short but eventful life. Claude Akins as Joe Burdett. Claude Akins, born May 25, 1926, played Joe Burdett, a violent criminal in Rio Bravo. At 33, Akins brought danger and tension to the screen, especially in his confrontations with the sheriff. With a career that lasted until The Misadventures of Sheriff Lobo 1979-1981, Akins became a familiar face, but his personal life was challenging. Married to Therese Fairfield since 1952 and with 3 children, Akins maintained a stable family life, but he battled thyroid cancer in his later years, which severely weakened his health. His net worth was estimated at $2 million, thanks to his television roles. Akins died on January 27, 1994, at the age of 67, leaving behind an illustrious career but also a painful end due to illness. Ward Bond as Pat Wheeler. Ward Bond, born on April 9, 1903, is one of the most familiar faces of classic Hollywood cinema, especially prominent in the Western genre. Rio Bravo, 1959. When 56 years old, he took on the role. Pat Wheeler, a brave townsman who is not afraid to stand up to the criminal gang. Although not the main character, Bond's character brings warmth, community, and belief in justice, thereby enriching the humanistic message of the film. Bond's career spans more than 200 works from It's a Wonderful Life, 1946, to The Searchers, 1956, and was especially associated with director John Ford and his close friend John Wayne. He was famous for his ability to transform into supporting roles, but always made the audience remember him becoming the model of a people's actor, not flashy but durable and genuine. In his personal life, Bond is married to Mary Louise May since 1936. The couple had no children, and he was largely spared the scandals that often beset the artistic world. However, his health gradually declined due to heart disease. The tragedy occurred just a year after Rio Bravo release date. November 5, 1960. Bond suddenly died of a heart attack while preparing to film an episode in the series Wagon Train. When he died, he left behind an estimated net worth of approximately $1 million, largely due to his enduring acting career. His death at the age of 57 cut short a promising career, but Ward Bond is still remembered as one of Hollywood's greatest supporting actors for his role as Pat Wheeler in Rio Bravo, a testament to his strong and warm presence on the silver screen. Harry Carey Jr. as Harold. Harry Carey Jr., born May 16, 1921, plays Harold, a townsman who supports the sheriff in Rio Bravo. At 38, Carey's performance brought a sincerity and unity that helped emphasize the fight against crime. Carey had a long career, but his personal life was not without its ups and downs. Married to Marilyn Fick since 1944, and with 4 children, Carey maintained a stable family life, but later in life he suffered from severe arthritis, which limited his acting ability. His net worth is estimated at $1 million. Carey died on December 27, 2012 at the age of 91, leaving behind a memorable cinematic legacy but also a body plagued by illness.